Tontolung to do. This is Jessica. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. She heard that she know la ya je no no ya lu chi hi man thi that she know that to ya ko I mong pe chong la je ku to nya to ho Beverly's Hills ya to Southern California na ku ton chi ku to na mo kho cha ton chu do jo ke na da ka lo zo lu do li man thi ko chi ke ku kho surgery mo ki ha zeng go a xiong na in who know your last appointment with the doctor who you or have think down again you shy who hold luton chu had dear your gate tiny hold luton chu put go na ya take more luachi no don't know like there any concern a show go one day you're part way and you mun the cost or high end car surgery na chị biết cũng muốn chí nữa là chị cũng mà khi đó đi thì có visitation mua lý cha nó nó nhất là hộ bị bị hiệu nó chỉ như họ chỉ số cũ hiện tại thì ít họ tu sửa cần gọi nhưng cũng lúc phải như chúng mà AC na AC to là chị như ít nhiều vỏ cho những họ cũng lúc phải như cũng khi họ trai này chị cũng cũ là thế như cũng khi họ trai này chị như the Dodge trong chị chỉ trong thả lồng này vậy chị cũng thế cơ họ trai nè rồi ít bên một số họ cũng lúc họ từ doctor lúc office này chị cũng mà record sẽ biết thả lên trả cho như sao lúc xưa nó nói chị cũng đã tỏ cho họ từ doctor nếu lúc office này vậy chị đi nhớ tôi xăm pay ok thì cũng dùng muốn chi nữa cho nên cũng có last appointment đó nữa vậy thì họ lúc không là nói chị hình như lúc office đó see that's his name right here his door Dr. Yu. You have the home base on here. Dr. Donna Yu. Okay, thì có một người lưu office. Cú rồi hồ Dr. Yu lưu office này giờ thì cú tỏ là khu cú thì cú bảo muốn chi nữa nè.
It was settling. Yeah, I know you were worried for quite a while that this area was going to be too high.
I was really worried.
But you see that with healing and time, it's reached closer to the final position. So it's probably about 99% healed at this point.
Will it continue to decrease a little bit?
It may decrease slightly, very slightly, but definitely the vast majority of changes that happen. The biggest change at this point is going to be age-related, meaning every year gravity will pull on the tip of your nose, and just like anyone who has not had surgery as well, the tip will come down ever so slightly every year.
The tip here, so it will go down.
Yeah, it will come down a little bit, and that's normal for everyone, even if you've not had surgery before. Bones of the bridge look and feel really good.
And they're hard.
And the tip's gotten smaller and cuter. Good. You're wearing glasses, sunglasses, no issues?
I barely wear them.
Really? Did you get your word?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to have that hump. So.
Hair's growing back. Any issues with the rib incision?
No.
Those heal pretty nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Look up in the ceiling for me. This scar has healed really nicely, so pretty hard to see at this point. The airway looks very good. A little bit wet on the left side. If you feel any stuffiness or congestion, then I would use irrigation periodically. But the airway itself looks very good.
Yeah, I don't feel any like stuffiness in there. I don't.
Okay, good. So I'm very pleased.
Yeah, I like my shape. I like the shape of the nose, but I'm just like I just wish this would be like a little bit deeper, like the dip here, and that way when I turn like this, because I notice when I turn like this and people is looking at from this side profile, this is still very thick right here. I just want it to be a little bit, you know, with a little bit transition and a little bit tiny more dip in there. So you have that natural crease where the forehead's right there and then that little crease in it. And then finally, you know, the slope of the nose.
I would argue that you have that.
Because I feel like I got some on this side profile, but not on this side profile. This is like, this side's good. Because you know when I look at my nose, I see that dip right here on this side. This one doesn't have that much of the thickness, but this side has that a little bit thickness compared to this side. It's more thicker.
Because right now the nose is subtly taller than the nose was before along the bridge. So certainly the dip is not as deep as it was before surgery. But other than reverting back to the height of your nose before, I don't know that there's going to be a middle ground between your bridge right now and your bridge then.
So basically, if it does go down, it will just go down just
a little bit.
Just a little bit, but not too much, not too extreme.
No. No.
Maybe just a little bit, because I don't want it to go like too extreme. Just a little tiny one, a little bit more.
No, because right now the height is where the skin is. So as you get older, the skin will get a little bit thinner, and so the height will appear less. But if you feel where the cartilage and bone actually is, it's very low.
So it's right here. Is it normal for it to start right here, or like from the line of your eyes, across from your eyes?
It's normal to, where it's starting right now is a very good starting point.
Like up here, a little bit higher. Because I do like my nose. Like I said, I like the overall outcome of it. The tip, I love the tip. And like I said, I did notice the tip got smaller throughout the year, which I love it. I love this whole section, this whole area. You did a wonderful job with that. And I just want this to be a little bit tiny, a little bit, give me a little bit decrease of a dip. Just a little bit decrease, that's it.
I think I have to disagree with you there completely. I don't think that it's going to look better to make it lower there. The only way to make it lower there would be to make it the same height as it was before surgery. And even if we did that, it would take you at least 2 years for the swelling to go away to see that difference.
So in your recommendation, you're just saying just keep it as it is and you'll just...
My recommendation, personally, as a surgeon looking at your nose objectively, the nose turned out as beautifully as a surgery could make your nose. From where your nose started, I think this is a home run. Like, even if I could go back in time and operate on your nose again, there's literally nothing that I would have done differently in terms of the height and the angle and the definition. I think that this is a fantastic result, and I'm very pleased. The only thing I'm not 100% pleased about is I would wish that you would love it too. But in terms of what you can do to make it closer to what you'd like, I would not recommend that. Unless you're looking to make the height of your bridge exactly like it was before.
No, I don't want it to go back exactly where it was originally. Because I like the projection of it.
Yeah. Even going back into your nose right now, any kind of manipulation will cause another 2 years of swelling.
Because I like everything, like I said. I like the shape of it. I like the tip of it. I like that, you know, my nose got a little bit narrow as compared to in the beginning when it was pretty wide, and my nose was crooked to the left side. Yeah, everything else, it's good. It's just that little dip, that's it. So there's nothing like we could do. That's it.
There's nothing that I would recommend doing. Yeah, there's nothing that I would like to do. Again, besides making your nose the same height as it was before, which I think would be the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, of course not. I would not want the original nose.
Let's do this. Let's take a peek at your photos. Can we take a look at your photos? With the frontal view, you can see that the nose is pretty crooked. Tip was asymmetric and bulbous, a lot different in shape between the left side and the right side. And washed out here in between the eyes. The nose came down and then you just saw the bumpiness of the bridge. Now you can see that in between the eyes it's smoother, and there's a smooth transition between the eyebrows and the start of the nose. The bridge is defined and straighter, and the tip has much better shape. From the profile, the forehead is relatively flat, and because of that, we had the issue where you felt like the nose started from the forehead because it's higher. But you see here, it's starting at the lower lash line, which is low. The nose now starts at the mid-pupil. And if you feel where the bridge is on your nose, that's skin. There's nothing there below it.
So you're saying that it's actually starting right where the inner corner
it
of
starts
my eyes.
here. It starts here, which is an appropriate place to start. The bridge is perfectly straight. The tip has more projection than the bridge. Before, the tip was droopy.
Yeah.
And you can see that you had a bump here because the bridge was taller than the tip. And this size and projection is very balanced with the rest of your face. So, in terms of where your nose starts, I would disagree with you 100%. I think that it's starting at a very appropriate point right now.
Yeah, now I'm looking at the picture of it.
Like this is a photo that if other patients saw, they would say, "Give me her nose," because compared to where the nose started, like this is a result that I'm very pleased with.
Yeah, now I'm looking at that picture. Wow, it's a big difference.
Yeah. Very nice improvement. So in terms of the transition between the forehead, because your forehead doesn't have a huge curve,
Yeah.
that's why the transition seems a little less obvious. Like if you had a fuller, more rounded forehead, then you would feel that more. But nonetheless, there is a nice transition between the brows and where the nose starts.
Looks nice up there.
It looks nice in person. It looks nice in real life.
Yeah, because I know that like with
Did you have some Botox?
yeah, I did.
That looks nice too.
I have some Botox.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I noticed that now with the newer nose, you could actually see that hey, this is the nose, the shape of the nose. Because there you couldn't really see, but with the newer nose, you could see the development of the nose. How the nose is actually coming out of, like, projected out of the face, like 3D vision, like a 3D view. Much nicer. Oh, can you go back to that profile where I was tilting?
Oh, base view.
Not that one, the one where I tilt.
Come in.
Yeah, that one, and then compared to the
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have one more?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just
This
wanted
was
to leave
happening?
this.
Oh,
I
okay,
just wasn't sure. Sorry, I thought you guys already left.
Hi. Gosh, that's so horrible right there, that whole one. Yeah, it's much nicer with the new one. See,
Yeah.
that's why I like the tip of my nose. It's very nice.
So, scars healed nicely, pretty hard to see.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can't tell. No one could tell. I can't even tell anymore.
Better proportion between the height and the width.
That was one of my biggest concerned because I've seen a lot of surgery where this part isn't straight anymore, but mine was really good. It turned out really nice. That's why I told him that's why you gotta go see them to do. It won't make you have a crooked. I don't know what this part is called, but it won't be crooked.
Polygon.
Yeah, they call it, yeah, that's what it's called. Wow, that was really bad compared to the after one.
Yeah. So I think in terms of achieving a prettier, straighter nose, I think we've achieved that.
Yes, we did definitely, because it was crooked, and the whole time I was all complaining that I had a crooked nose, and no one knew that it was crooked, and they didn't believe me. I'm like, trust me, if a doctor looked at it, they know it's crooked, and I know it's crooked.
Yeah. It's about 70 to 80% straighter now, if not more. And I think the shape of the nose, again, I wouldn't recommend touching it at this point because I think that it represents a very nice change.
Now that I'm looking at the picture. Yeah, I guess I did see it when I'm looking at the picture, but when I'm looking at it like face to face, I don't really see the results until I actually compare the previous picture from day one to today's present day. Then I notice the difference that, yeah, it's way better than before.
Good. Any other questions?
Well, now that I have you in front
Yes.
of me, I have since I have this moment with you, I want to like do my eyelids right, but I've seen other doctor and they say that my eyelids are too small. I can't do it.
How many surgeries have you had before?
I've never had any
You've
surgery
never had surgery.
on my eyes. This is my natural lid crease. But you know how like I have that hooded eye, right?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing other doctors and they're like, my skin's too small for it to be cut.
Close your eyes for me. Open. The thing is, you don't have a lot of volume in your upper eyelids.
And my nose surgery is actually my first surgery.
That was your first surgery. You see here,
Mm-hmm.
this is not a crease. This is actually the outline of your bone because there's not a lot of volume here. So I tend to agree that it is a tricky surgery. I would probably perform the operation by making the cut where the crease is, but not really removing extra skin. I would just use stitches to make this crease a little bit deeper.
Because you know how like it
it's
overlaps right on the other side.
Here, yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah. But this area is, I think, what causes your eyelid to look a little bit aged, though,
Mm-hmm.
is the deepness here. So some people use fillers to add fullness to that area. Some use fat. I don't love using fat because sometimes it can be imprecise. So I think that the best thing for the upper eyelids would be to perform supratarsal fixation, like using stitches on the inside to deepen this crease and to raise it slightly. But I agree, you're not, like, the change from upper eyelid surgery is not going to be as dramatic as for the nose, because I don't think the issue is as bad to begin with, and there's a limitation with how little skin you have.
Yeah, because they're like, you got little skin, so we wouldn't even be able to do anything. And I'm like, but when I
Come in.
when I came and see you last time,
Hi.
and I was telling you that I didn't want like a brand new crease. I want to keep the same crease, but I just want to have that natural crease, you know, all around my eyes. And I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go see Dr. I'm gonna discuss about this with him and see what his thoughts were on it. Because I was thinking of just doing like, is it Rhinoplasty? That's what they call it.
Rhinoplasty, yeah.
But you wouldn't.
I wouldn't advise doing just blepharoplasty. It would have to be blepharoplasty with supratarsal fixation, like with stitches to create the crease.
To create the crease
Yeah,
again.
If someone just makes this cut and removes skin,
Uh-huh.
then I think it's gonna make it look worse.
Then it wouldn't have that natural crease all around across.
It would.
By keeping the same, what is it, crease,
Mhm.
not creating new creases.
Right. Keeping the same crease but making it deeper and more crisp, and then removing just a tiny amount of skin laterally here.
Okay, moving a little bit tiny from that portion, and that way it doesn't have that hooded eye.
Exactly. But if you want my opinion in terms of what's priority to make yourself look younger
Mhm.
and better, you've done a little bit of Botox around the eyes, which looks great, even in the before and after. I would do a little bit here in the forehead too.
The forehead.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that it might be like too much volume, and it might just pop out like crazy.
No, I don't think so. Like I think that like you actually look younger now than when you came for your consult.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it's the nose, part of it's the Botox, and I think that the thing that stands out looking at your face are the horizontal lines here. Yeah, especially when you emote and make facial expressions, like you tend to raise and wrinkle your forehead
Yes, I
a
do
lot, and that ages you more than the rest of your face. So this looks older than your eyes.
So I have to keep a steady face when I'm talking.
You won't be able to. I think I would recommend just doing a little Botox high on your forehead just to prevent those wrinkles. But I think you're gonna get a lot more benefit from that
Mhm.
than blepharoplasty.
So
at-
do
at
this
point.
okay, do this first and wait for these later,
I would.
because I'm still a little bit too young.
I would. Yeah.
That's what you would recommend.
Yeah. If you were my sister, that would be my recommendation. Like keep treating these with Botox because you see how it's smooth now,
Yeah.
right? Compared to
Yeah.
how it was before. It was
Yeah.
pretty prominent before, but now so it's much smoother. Now you just need the same here for the forehead.
I see. Okay. Guess I'll have to think about that. Well, that's about it. That was my biggest concern because the other doctor was saying, no, we can't do it yet. You got little skin.
Yeah, it's a combination of little skin and you have pretty deep set eyes, and so the crease needs to be reinforced.
Having deep stitches down in this area right here.
On the inside of the eyelid to make it. So it's a surgery I commonly perform for patients who don't have an upper eyelid crease. Then we create that crease. But for you, you have it. It just needs to be reinforced.
And when would you think would be like the right time for me to do that?
I think it can be done at any time. Yeah, I think it can be done at any time. But I think just priority-wise, treating this would be better.
And
And I
when
think
for like 4 or 5 years
5,
later?
yeah, even 5, 10 years.
Okay. All right. Ow.
But whoever does your Botox has to be conservative. Just make sure that they leave enough motion on your eyebrows, because otherwise if they treat too low, it can feel heavy and make that problem worse. So as long as they treat high on your forehead.
Got it. Because I'm like, I'm not sure about doing Botox on my forehead. I know that I don't like my crow's feet, so
Yeah.
that's why I got that treated only.
The forehead, I think it's going to make a nice change
A
too.
nice change. Okay. All right. Thank you for your recommendation.
Of course.
Because I'm like, I gotta go see Dr. You. You guys are saying that I can't do the eyelids yet. Because you know how last time when I came, right, and you were using that I don't know, the wire thing
Yeah.
on my eye, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, he didn't say anything about having too little skin.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go see him. I'll talk to him about it.
There's not a lot of skin, but beyond the skin, the crease needs to be reinforced too. So just like we talked about the first time, 2 years ago, same procedure. But again, I don't think that's the pressing thing in terms of giving you a younger, more refreshed appearance.
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. Well, anything else that you want to talk to me about?
No, so I just want to remind you that the tip of your nose, it's not as flexible as your nose was before surgery. So you still want to be mindful of not smashing down on it or being too aggressive going after blackheads.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm scared.
That applies for the rest of your life. But otherwise, you're 99% healed. If you can make the trip back in a year, I'd love to see you.
Okay.
But at this point, 99% healed.
Yeah, because I don't poke my nose because I'm like, oh no, it cost me a lot to get this nose. So I'm gonna try to take care as much as I can.
Good.
And so I'll see you in a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So just book the appointment with the girls in the front.
Yes.